Good morning, guys. Well, it's morning for me anyway, so this is why I look so tired. Yeah. I just purchased the Anastasia Prism Palette because it only recently became available in the UK. Please excuse my voice today, but I'm a little bit ill, which is why I sound like a man. But anyway, let's just jump into this little review. So obviously I don't have anything on my face yet. I thought I would just start off with the eyes because obviously it makes sense because we're, you know, reviewing an eyeshadow palette. And this is what the palette looks like. It's like the same kind of velvet material as the Subculture and the Modern Renaissance palette, but it's just like super chic and black, and it's got this little kind of prism symbol thing here. I don't know, it looks super pretty, and I don't know, packaging for me is just so satisfying. And then when you open up the palette, it looks, you know, pretty similar to the other palettes, but obviously just a load of different beautiful colours. Ooh. And it does come with a little brush, which always seems to fall out when I try and show you guys. But I do actually quite like these brushes. It's quite rare that I do, but I actually do use them. And it's quite an interesting colour range, I think. But I mean, for someone like me who likes to, you know, experiment with colour and stuff like that, I'm really excited about this. It is exactly the same price as all of the other palettes. So yeah, it's basically, I just want to see, you know, how they blend. You know, it's pigmented, if you get a lot of fallout like you did with the Subculture palette, and just basically how easy it is to work with and whether it's actually worth it for you guys to buy it. First, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this Unity shade. It's basically just a kind of neutral colour with some yellow undertones. And I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush and lightly put that in the crease. So as you can see, there is, you know, a little bit of fallout, but I mean, nothing ridiculous. I do feel that with pigmented shadows you get fallout, and to me it's just not that big of a deal. Next, I'm just going to take this shade Eden, which is a nice kind of peachy pink shade. I'm just using the same brush and just popping it in the same place. Yeah, like this one picks up really, really well, but you don't really get much fallout in the pan. It's a really nice shade. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Satin, which is this orangey shade right here. I'm really impressed with how this one's blending, considering it's quite like a deep pigmented shade. I'm just trying to keep that in the lower portion of the crease. I just always do this. Obviously you want the lighter colours to fade upwards. So using little circular motions and windshield wiper motions. So I do obviously want to deepen up just a little bit further, so I'm going to go in with this beautiful brown shade. This looks kind of like a true brown really. It's called Parallel. Right, I'm going to go in with my Morphe M433, which is a little precise blending brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that Parallel shade, and I'm going to keep this in the outer corner and drag it into the crease. This is, you know, one of my usual looks really. I love this shade. This is blending like a dream, you guys. I can't even lie, I wasn't really expecting that much from this palette. Only because I think people are nervous to buy it after the whole Subculture disaster. Well, I mean, for me it wasn't a disaster, but I would say it isn't one of my go-to palettes. Like, it's not one that I reach for all the time, just because I know it's going to take me a little bit longer to achieve the look that I want. And you have to be careful when you mix certain shades together in that palette, because sometimes they just don't mix well together. So I might try using the shade without wetting the brush first, and then maybe I'll wet the brush on the other side and just see if it performs a lot better. Because they swatched really, really well on my hand. But, you know, sometimes they swatch better than they actually transfer onto the eye, if that makes sense. So we'll see how it does. But I'm going to take probably my favourite shade in the whole palette, which is this Pyramid shade. It's a very, very yellow gold, but I don't own anything like this, and I'm very excited to put it on my lid. I don't just like swipe it on, I press it on and then wiggle the brush. It's like so hard to try and explain sometimes, like, what I'm doing. This is like ridiculously pigmented. I'm into it. Oh my god, you don't need to wet your brush, guys. You don't. Look at that. I'm not going to wet my brush. I'm really, really impressed with that shade. I don't know if I just picked like a really good shade, but I will obviously be using this palette a little bit more. So I will let you guys know, but Jesus. I'm so impressed with that lid shade. I like it. So the tops of the eyes are done. I'm now going to move on to lashes, but before I chuck some on, I'm just going to tight line with the black pencil liner. This, honestly, like now that I've started doing this, I can't stop because I can always notice the kind of nude that's poking from underneath, and when you're wearing falsies, obviously you want to try and make it look as like blended in with your natural lashes as possible, and this just helps to do that. And then I'm just going to prep my actual lashes with some of this ridiculously incredible cheap mascara. Like honestly, if you don't have it, like pause the video, run out and go get some. So for lashes today, I'm actually going to go in with a pair from Iconic London. I absolutely love their lashes. These are the first lashes that I ever tried from them, and they're like falling out of the box, so I'm going to have to hold them like this. But they're actually really natural and really comfortable, but at the same time just give you that little bit of drama that you need, do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to use a combination which I absolutely love, which is my Armani Luminous Silk and my Anastasia Stick Foundation. I always start with the Anastasia one and just put like a fair amount. Like this is a really nice buildable foundation. So now that I've got a hefty amount of the Anastasia one, I just pump the Armani one on the back of my hand, and then I take my damp sponge, which I'm just gonna re-wet a little bit, and I pick up some of the Armani one and I use that to then blend out this foundation. And it's quite good because the Anastasia one is just slightly too light at the moment, and my Armani one's just a little bit too dark, so mixing them together is perfect. Cream contour today, I'm actually going to use a new product which was very kindly sent to me by Iconic London. Thank you so much. I absolutely love Iconic London, they're amazing. I've used their pigment stick before for foundation, and I did really like it, so I mean it only makes sense that this will probably work quite well as a cream contour. I'm going to find a brush, it's another Iconic London brush. So I think I'm just going to take this, I'm just going to pick up some of the tan shade. What shade is Iconic 4 pigment stick? And I'm just going to place that where I normally would. This is the KKW Beauty highlight stick, and I've never actually just used it like this, but I'll give it a go. I might actually take a little bit of my Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer just to help blend out that concealer, that cream highlight. So I think I'm going to use a brush for the contour. This is just another Iconic London brush. I'm just loving their brushes at the moment. They're incredible. Let's get rid of double chin. And then I'm going to use my damp sponge to blend out the concealer. I'm just going to dip into my RCMA No Colour Powder and set all of that into place. So we're just going to let my nose bake for a little bit and then move on to the lower lash line. It's not going to be anything too crazy. I'm basically just going to take, I think, a mixture of Parallel, Eden and Unity. So I'm just going to set all of that cream contour and bronze up my face using my Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It is a much loved one. To set the nose contour and just underneath the lip. And then for highlight today, I'm going to use one which I haven't used in forever, but it used to be one of my absolute go-tos, and that's the Becca highlight in the shade Opal. They're so like soft, these powders, the Becca like highlights, like they're not even a tiny bit chunky, they just glide on. I'm going to pop that in the inner corner as well, just for a little pop. For blush, I'm going to use one of my all-time favourites, which is my NARS Orgasm blush. And I'm just going to pop that right on the apples. I'm going to use one of my Huda Beauty minis, and this is in the shade Girlfriend, and it's a kind of nudie brown. And I actually think, oh yeah, this is going to go well with the eyes. And then to set everything in place, as per usual, we need to use a setting spray, and I'm just going to use my MAC Fix Plus. Just do a quick little spritz. So my thoughts on the Anastasia Prism Palette, basically I just love it. I love it. Well, I mean, the shades that I've used today, I love. Obviously, I will play around with it a little bit more, and I'll do some more looks on here and also on my Instagram. So you can see kind of whether there are some shades that are a little bit more inconsistent. So I do need to just like play around with it a bit more, but like packaging is a win, colours are a win, pigmentation's a win, blendability is a win. Like, I absolutely love it. I love it. Now, I'm not going to start comparing it to the Modern Renaissance palette because that is probably my all-time favourite Anastasia palette, and I think it is for a lot of people, but you know, that's not just because of the kind of quality of the shades. I think that's also because of the colours and the shade range, and it's just perfect for the everyday girl. Whereas this one, I mean, you can do a lot of everyday looks with it, but I would say it's more of an artistic palette. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and also, you know, the first impressions / review of the Anastasia Prism palette. Let me know in the comments below if you've purchased this already and what you think, or you know, if you're thinking about getting it and you know, you have any more questions for me, then please do just ask. So if you want to see any more from me, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.